Welcome to Fustitude.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. On today's video we'll be doing ring donut, a perfect ring donut. Here we have the ingredient. This is flour, all-purpose flour. I have sieved my flour. Then next I have my butter or margarine. This is margarine. Then next eggs, and we have milk flavor. This is powdered milk flavor. We have in here sugar, white sugar. I'll have all the ingredients written down in the description box for you to have access to. So back to our business. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel always. I really appreciate. And if you're new here, thank you so much for coming. And this is our yeast. We use yeast to proof our ring donuts. So this is the brand I'm using. I use STK Royal Yeast. So if you want to do yours, you can get STK Royal Yeast as well. So before we get right into the video, this is my bowl. It is clean and I've poured in my sieved flour. In here I'm going to add my yeast and other dry ingredients. Like I said, I'm going to put down the ingredients in the description box. So I've mixed my yeast, salt and sugar together. So in here I made a well in the middle of the bowl, and I poured in my egg. I'm going to mix the egg properly, very well together with my flour. I have not added butter yet into this ingredient. I just added sugar, salt, yeast and my eggs. So this is me after adding all those ingredients. I want to add in my water. So I'll add in the water bit by bit. Like I said, I'm going to drop the ingredients and the measurements in the description box for you to have access to. So make sure you add the water. Even if you have the measurement, add the water bit by bit, because flour differs. Some flour can take in more water while others take less. Now I'm going to clean my work surface. I sprinkled some flour so that my dough is not going to stick to my work surface. I'm going to pour in my dough on this surface right now to knead. Now this is where the work comes in. When you're making ring donuts and pillow donuts, the result comes from your kneading. If you want to have a perfect ring donut or a perfect pillow donut, you need to knead. The reason why I use my hands to knead is because I want you to know that it is possible for you to use hands to knead for your ring donut or your pillow donut. If you have not seen my pillow donut video, I don't know what you're still waiting for. Go down. I will try and put the link in my description box for you to have access to. You can click on the link so that you can get access to my pillow donut recipe. Like we did for the pillow donut, we are going to do the same for our ring donut. Now here I'm going to knead for about 7 minutes. I'm kneading for about 7 minutes before I spread in my margarine, or if you're using butter. So I'll knead for 7 minutes, then I'll add my butter. So I have I'm still kneading. So now I'm going to spread in my flour, my dough, and I'm going to add my margarine, or if you're using butter. So all you just need to do is you knead together with the butter. You knead together with the butter. Just keep kneading so all the butter can incorporate with the dough. So now let's go back to our first business. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe for me. I don't know why this subscribe thing is a big deal on YouTube. Kindly subscribe for me. If you do not subscribe, you're not going to get access to more of my amazing videos. I'm going to post more videos that is going to be helpful to you. So subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you can get access to my videos. So this is me after kneading. Now we are going to do the same thing the way we did it in our pillow donut. We are going to heat our dough on the surface. Now this helps to allow it to release more air so it can be very, very, very fluffy. Do not skip this part in your donut kneading. Do not skip it at all. It is very important. I don't even know how to explain it, but if you are kneading, you will understand what I'm saying. When you get to this point, you will notice that at this stage, when you beat the dough on the surface, it is going to be very light when you knead it. At a point when you keep on kneading without beating it, you find out that it will be stressful to get to a point that you won't be able to use your hand to knead again. It will be so hard until you release the air in the dough. So that is just the secret. Do not skip this part for the sake of your donut. Do not skip this part for anything. Now I'm going to knead my total kneading was 30 minutes all through. It was 30 minutes. I kneaded for 30 minutes. 7 minutes at first. I spread in my flour, my butter. Then I added the remaining 23 minutes, I guess. So this is me still doing the same thing. I decided not to skip this part too long, so you guys can see how long it took me to get a perfect kneading for my donut. The same thing goes for the pillow donut. Now I'm done kneading. I'm going to use the same bowl we used for mixing. I'm just going to place my donuts. I try to achieve this a round ball shape, so that when it rises, it's going to come out at the same shape. Now I'm going to cover this with a kitchen towel. You can put it in a warm place. What I do is I put it in my oven. I do not turn on the oven. I just put it in my oven, and I cover the oven with a cloth so that it can be warm, because this is raining season, and the weather is quite cold, different from when it is during the heat period. So I'm going to cover with a kitchen towel, and I'm going to set aside for it to rise. Now the rising time is 30 minutes. Now it depends on the weather, like I said. At times your dough might rise before then, and it might rise even more. Now I've gotten out my dough, and I used my rolling pin to flatten. Now at this stage, do not flatten too thin. Do not roll it out to be too thin, because it is going to sit inside your oil. It's not going to float well. I use my donut cutter, the largest size, to cut out my donuts, and I'm going to do the ring with my nozzle tips. Now this is the rest of the dough. I'll keep on rolling until I exhaust all my dough. I'm going to roll it out. Like I said, do not be tempted to roll thin. Don't be tempted and say I need more yield. That's why I want to roll it very thin. You're not going to like the outcome. You're not going to achieve that white, flawless and white line you see on your donuts, all those Instagram donuts you see everywhere that has white line. If you roll out too flat, it is not going to come out. You're just going to have it's just going to be there. So you use your nozzle tip or anything you have. I'm using my nozzle tip. If you have a nozzle tip, use it to pierce it to get that ring shape at the middle of your donut. Now what I'll do next, yes, I have my parchment paper on my tray. You can use just your tray, but make sure you sprinkle flour so that it doesn't stick to the tray when you need to fry. So after putting all of this down, I am going to still leave it again to rise. That is one thing about donut. Don't be in a hurry to make your donut. If you know you have order, do it in the night so you can fry it in the morning. Do not be tempted, like I said, to rush your donut. You're not going to like the outcome. I'm going to leave it to rise for another 30 minutes before I'll fry. This same process goes for our pillow donut. You allow it to rise. So like I said, depends on the weather. Yours might rise before, and at the same time some can even take more depending on the weather. Now for my pillow donut, I skipped my frying process because of I fried late in the night, so I couldn't film my frying process. So I decided to film this for my ring donut. Now if you notice, after I did the kneading, I had smaller pieces of dough that couldn't give me a full piece of ring donut, so I'm going to use that to test my oil. Now this is me testing the oil. I just dropped those tiny pieces into the hot oil to see if my oil is ready to accept my donut. Now if you do not do this, if you end up putting your donuts in a cold oil, it is going to soak up your oil and it's not going to rise. If you end up putting it in a very too hot oil, it is going to get brown faster, and at the end of the day you're not going to have a good the inside is not going to be ready. Like when you open it, you just see that you still have very fresh flour inside your donut, and it will be looking so nice outside while the inside will be sticky. So that is the reason why you need to set aside smaller pieces like this one so you can use to test the oil. If you notice that the pieces I dropped are already they are already proven inside the oil, it is not the same size when I was dropping it. It has increased in size. So that is what I'm trying to achieve. I noticed that yes, it is time for me to drop my donuts. So you see, they are not going brown. Even the fact that they are smaller, they are not getting brown faster. That means my heat is the right temperature I need for the donuts. So like I said, always subscribe to this channel. There are so many amazing things you will miss if you do not subscribe. Now I've dropped in my donut. You can see that the sizes is not like the way it was when I rolled it out. Like I said, do not be tempted. At this point, I actually rolled it thinner, but not as thin as the way some people will roll their own. So do not be tempted to roll it thin. Do not be tempted. Now I'm just going to use my skewer to adjust it. So I'll check the sides to see if the other side is brown, so I'll flip it to the next side. Turn on your notification bell. I always say this, the reason why, if you turn on your notification bell, as soon as I drop another one, background, you'll be the first to get to know about it. Now, like I said, there are so many amazing things that is coming on this channel. If you do not subscribe, I don't know what to say. So subscribe to this channel and let us keep the channel moving. This very dough, I added it with the parchment paper because it was not coming out of the parchment paper. So I advise, if you're using any parchment paper, you use the white parchment paper, because this brown one at times is self-fake. It doesn't give us the results we want, but that's what I could get around. So that's why I am using the brown parchment paper. So it is not as effective as the white one, the one that comes with in a carton. So this is me. If you notice, you can see those white lines. You can see, I'm showing you, you can see how beautiful they are. So thank you so much. If you've watched my video to this point, thank you so much. You are the real MVP. I love you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for keeping this channel moving. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up means give us a like if you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.